bring your attention to some of the important things you need to make sure you understand at a basic level in order to understand Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is dealing with words. If you've never thought about it before, words are extremely important. Not only do they express our ideas to one another, but they also give us the ability to communicate with one another. This is partly because the way we use words shows a reflection of the way we classify things. So, for example, if I say that this is a fork, you would probably say, no, that's a spoon. Now, if I keep calling this a fork, you're probably not going to know what I'm saying unless we have an agreement that every time you hear me say fork, I mean spoon and that sort of thing. We use words to reflect the things that we believe are true about the world. So when we are learning about words, hopefully we are practicing classifying things. So our nouns reflect what we believe to be an actual entity. And that way it gives us common ways of talking about things in a reliable way so that we can express our views more accurately. In case you don't know what a genus and species is, a genus is, this is kind of like in biology. Some of the major classifications are kingdom, which is like animals, plants. Usually they say them in Latin terms. There'll be like Animalia, Plantae, fungi. So there's these different huge categories, and then underneath the categories, smaller subsets of categories fall under that. And then under each of those subsets, there are other smaller branches that narrow down things more and more and more. Eventually, you start out with, I think, kingdom, then phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. And the species is the most narrow thing that you can distinguish from something else. So if it's in one species, it can't overlap and be in another species. That's just not how we can talk about species. It might share the same genus, but it's not going to share the same species. So similarly to that kind of idea, in biology, and that was articulated and codified by Carolus Linnaeus, we are talking about genus and species in the sense that the genus is a little bit broader category than the species is. So when you see these terms, make sure you recognize them. A species is a relatively smaller subset group of a genus. So it's a little bit narrower of something broader. Now, two genuses may have some, but they're going to share a lot of similarities. But when it comes to a species, the species are mutually exclusive. Make sure you understand that vocabulary word too. Two groups are mutually exclusive if they don't have any overlap. It means that if you're in one category, you can't be in another category. You have to be in that category, and those two groups don't overlap. They have to be separate. So that's my main things. Make sure you also notice the term referent. A referent is the thing that a word is referring to, the specific thing. I want to remind you of, on page 60, the tip for constructing the genus species charts. At the bottom of page 60, it says, don't confuse a part to whole relationship with a genus to species relationship. A part to whole might mean, if you've got a book, there's pages. Well, pages is not a species of book. Pages are a part of a larger grouping called a book. So don't get that confused with the genus-species relationship. And also make sure that you remember that species do not overlap. They are mutually exclusive. I hope this is helpful.